I thought the transfer rumours had finished. I thought the transfer window was closed. Are we already looking ahead to January? We're talking Semenyo today. Arsenal and Liverpool monitoring him. Bournemouth value him at this moment in time at £100 million. I'm going to say that again. £100 million for Semenyo. Now, don't get me wrong, I am one of the biggest fans of Semenyo in the Premier League. I made a video about 2 months ago speaking about how Liverpool should have signed this guy. And are Liverpool now looking at bringing him in? Is this the right move for Liverpool? But I'll also look at Arsenal wanting to bring in a left winger for such a long time, looking at his form this season, 6 goals and 3 assists. Only Erling Haaland has got more GA in the Premier League. He looks absolutely incredible, like he could go on for a 25 GA season, which would only be in the Premier League because he's not playing in Europe. We're going to talk about him. We're going to look at the report because it is by a credible source. Maybe not to some of you guys, but he was very accurate during the summer window. It was an exclusive last night. We are going to break it down. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. The road to 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. So if you could go down and hit that subscribe button, that'd be absolutely fantastic as well. 93% of you who watched the channel this month in October have not subscribed, and we are less than 500 away now from 80,000. Now, the report come out. Touchline put it out as well. Indy put it out last night. Now, Indy, David Ornstein quoted him a number of times on video saying that this is what he's been told. Indy grew a huge following throughout the summer. Over 600,000 followers on Twitter now. Touchline have posted it saying, breaking, Bournemouth are willing to sell Antoine Semenyo in January if any club is able to pay £100 million valuation. Arsenal and Liverpool have been informed of the situation. Now, Man United and Spurs have also been interested in this guy. If we cast our mind back to the summer transfer window, this guy signed a new contract with Bournemouth. I think it was a 5-year extension or 3-year extension, which would essentially mean he would have 5 years left on his current deal. He, for me, has been, you could maybe say only Haaland has been the better player in the league this season, looking at his goal output. Now, lots of teams made an inquiry about him. Spurs on June 20th made an inquiry before he went on to sign a new contract, which makes things at this moment in time very, very difficult to get him out of Bournemouth anyway. Now, Man United were looking at him but decided to pursue the deal of Brian and Mbeumo. Spurs were looking at him but decided to pursue the deal for Mohamed Kudus. When you look at this guy, for me this season, he has been an absolute monster in terms of his output, his contributions to the team. I think he's been the best player in the Premier League other than maybe you could say Erling Haaland. Now, his latest contract was on the 1st of July, 2025. Now, the contract was extended. He's been at Bournemouth since 2023. As you can see there, 1st of July, 2025. Contract expires 5 years' time, 2030. He is representing Ghana now, so he will miss about 3 weeks. Or I don't actually know if Ghana have qualified for the AFCON. I don't think they have, actually. But he is 25. He is in the peak of his powers right now. And when you look at Semenyo's stats this season, he's been probably the best wide player in the Premier League. When you look at his output, it's absolutely ridiculous. 9 GA in 7 games is very, very good. He's on £75,000 a week wages. So Arsenal and Liverpool could comfortably improve that. The question is, Does he leave in January? Is he worth £100 million? And is it more likely he joins Arsenal than Liverpool? So let's break all of that down. Does he leave in January? For me, no. I don't think anyone would stump up the £100 million price tag for Semenyo during January, halfway through the season. As good as that campaign he's had, and even if he continues on at this trajectory and he's on, say, 18 GA by January, which would be an unbelievable return for a player, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but playing at Bournemouth, being their star man, I don't think anyone stumps up the £100 million evaluation from Bournemouth. What I would say is, if he carries on at this form, the likelihood of him leaving next summer would be very, very high. You'd have a number of clubs. Arsenal are looking at a left winger. Do Liverpool need a long-term replacement for Mohamed Salah? Is he that guy? Chelsea, I think, need more Premier League proven wingers. I think they should have probably signed a Semenyo compared to a Garnacho or compared to a Jamie Gittins. I don't think he leaves in January. Is he worth £100 million? It's the argument he's worth £100 million to Bournemouth, but he may not be worth £100 million. It reminds me very much of the whole Wilfried Zaha when he went on that really, really good stretch of form at Crystal Palace and was flying. And he had a really, really good year, but he ended up leaving for a lot less than that. It's the same as the whole Declan Rice. At a point of time before he left to join Arsenal, there was bids being mentioned. Is he worth this amount of money? And he did leave for it. He was having an unbelievable season at West Ham and he did go. Now, that probably fortunately turned out for Arsenal to be a relatively cheap deal when you look at the overall quality that he possesses in Declan Rice. And then you can talk about the Arsenal versus Liverpool. Is he going to be more beneficial to join Arsenal or Liverpool? Well, I look at Liverpool first, and I think their priority in January, if they are to go and sign him, should 100% be their priority should be to bring in a centre-back. I'm looking at Crystal Palace and thinking Gahey should be number one on their list. They tried to get him on deadline day. It fell through. Looking at this Liverpool team right now, on the left-hand side, it's Cody Gakpo. Florian Wirtz has played there. Ekitike will probably play there at one point this season. I think at this moment in time, Cody Gakpo is a very, very good option, but I do think Semenyo is better. I also think he's a better winger option than Ekitike and Florian Wirtz, predominantly because they're not actually wingers. I'm looking on the right-hand side at Mohamed Salah. Long-term, he's getting a lot of criticism right now in the Premier League and in and around football in general. I don't necessarily think that the criticism is justified. What I would say, though, is he's 34 in June next year, which would be going into the following season. You are going to need to look at a longer-term replacement. And Semenyo is 25 at the peak of his powers right now. And in terms of, if you go on to say FootMob, for instance, you look at Premier League stats in terms of who has got the most GA, I think only Erling Haaland has got more. And I am correct. Erling Haaland is the only player in the Premier League this season who has, who has got more goal contributions than Semenyo. As you can see right there. Grealish has got 5. Anthony at Bournemouth, Burnley's got 5. Kudus has got 5. Pedro's got 5. Enzo Fernandez has got 4. But you look at that, that goes to show you how good of a start he has had. Now, I'm looking at Arsenal longer term, and I'm thinking on their left wing predominant position, I think Semenyo is a better option than Martinelli. I think he is a better option than Leandro Trossard. There have been linked to a number of wingers in the last couple of years, from Nico Williams, Rafa Leao, Anthony Gordon, Rodrigo. They're always linked to left-sided wingers. And, Antoine Semenyo predominantly is a right winger, but can play on the left to a really good level, a really good standard. I think Eberechi Eze will be predominantly used more in the 10. I think Max Dowman will be predominantly used on the right or the left. But I do think as it stands right now, Semenyo is higher up the pecking order, and you would expect that because he's 25 compared to a 15-year-old. And I'm looking at Yvan Manieri. I think Yvan Manieri is better in the middle. So out of the two, I think he's probably a better fit for Arsenal. But again, Is he worth 100 million pounds? I'm not so sure. I don't think he is. But again, the market right now is absolutely ridiculous. Unless you are Man City or a Liverpool that can pick up the occasional steal, or Arsenal, the rest of us are paying top money. So I would pay 60 million for him. I'm not going to lie. I'd maybe pay 65 million for him. But I don't personally believe he is worth 100 million. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. I'm out.